For coffee drinkers, the buzz may be in your genes. Like most of my work, this article would not have been possible without coffee. I'm never fully awake until I have had my morning cup of espresso. It makes me productive, energized, and what I can only describe as mildly euphoric. But as one of the millions of caffeine-loving Americans who can measure out my life with coffee spoons, to paraphrase T.S. Eliot, I have often wondered, how does my coffee habit impact my health? The health community can't quite agree on whether coffee is more potion or poison. The American Heart Association says the research on whether coffee causes heart disease is conflicting. The World Health Organization, which for years classified coffee as possibly carcinogenic, recently reversed itself, saying the evidence for a coffee cancer link is inadequate. National dietary guidelines say that moderate coffee consumption may actually be good for you, even reducing chronic disease. Why is there so much conflicting evidence about coffee? The answer may be in our genes. About a decade ago, Ahmed El-Sohami, a professor in the Department of Nutritional Sciences at the University of Toronto, noticed the conflicting research on coffee and the widespread variation in how people respond to it. Some people avoid it because just one cup makes them jittery and anxious. Others can drink 4 cups of coffee and barely keep their eyes open. Some people thrive on it. Dr. El-Sohami suspected that the relationship between coffee and heart disease might also vary from one individual to the next. And he zeroed in on one gene in particular, CYP1A2, which controls an enzyme, also called CYP1A2, that determines how quickly our bodies break down caffeine. One variant of the gene causes the liver to metabolize caffeine very quickly. People who inherit 2 copies of the fast variant, one from each parent, are generally referred to as fast metabolizers. Their bodies metabolize caffeine about 4 times more quickly than people who inherit 1 or more copies of the slow variant of the gene. These people are called slow metabolizers. With funding from the National Institutes of Health, Dr. El-Sohami and his colleagues recruited 4,000 adults, including about 2,000 who had previously had a heart attack. Then they analyzed their genes and their coffee consumption. When they looked at the entire study population, they found that consuming 4 or more cups of coffee per day was associated with a 36% increased risk of a heart attack. But when they split the subjects into 2 groups, fast and slow caffeine metabolizers, they found something striking. Heavy coffee consumption only seemed to be linked to a higher likelihood of heart attacks in the slow metabolizers. The increased risk that we saw among the entire population was driven entirely by the people that were slow metabolizers, said Dr. El-Sohami, who is also on the Science Advisory Board at Nutrigenomics, a personalized nutrition company. When you look at the fast metabolizers, there was absolutely no increased risk. The trend among fast metabolizers was quite the opposite. Those who drank 1 to 3 cups of coffee daily had a significantly reduced risk of heart attacks, suggesting that for them coffee was protective.